Okay, good afternoon. It is the appointed hour, a little bit past. I will call to order the July 18th meeting of the Oklahoma City Riverfront Redevelopment Authority. And I don't have anything from the chairman. Item 3 is the minutes from the June 20 meeting. Do we have any changes or corrections? I need a motion. Cast your vote. And that passes. Item 4 is the consent docket. We have the oil and gas revenue report and the river corridor events update. Any questions on either one of those? Okay. Motion? Cast your vote. And that passes. Item 5 is the primary agenda items. Item A is a river project summary. Been a quiet month on the river, hasn't it? No debris coming down or anything, huh?
I'd love to say that it was just that easy, but Jess Shumway, Oklahoma City Public Works. Our summary for the month of July is as follows. June, we had a lot of our maintenance contracts, specific projects we bid. A lot of moving pieces going along on the river. We had a lot of skater repairs, and those are highly important to allow with current rainfalls, that we're able to adequately drain the river lakes at the proper level and still maintain the pool elevation as desired. So far, those repairs have served us well, and we made it through this last rainstorm really without any major issues at all. Debris is going to be another critical item, and we're always, with staff in the water and removing those debris. Hopefully, our recovery time on this last event, we'll be able to get that back to where we'll have successful events again. Some of the other items that we've talked about in the past, the winter's lowering and of, the items that we're planning on looking at, like the Arcana Landing, the MAPS foundation, structural repairs for the Eastern Dam, sediment removal, some bank stabilization. All those things are going to be taking place simultaneously during that lowering. So we're right now preparing for those. One of the other things that we were talking about, some of the annual contracts we have, though, David, if you can scroll down a little bit, we do have contracts to maintain the stabilization of the riprap, along the river. And with that, one of the requirements with the Corps is that we maintain the vegetation as well. So we do that through a couple of different means. We do some with spraying some of the impounded areas, but also beyond that through the entire floodway, Eastern Dam to Northeast 36th Street. We have a contract and an obligation to maintain that as well. And if you'll kind of notice, Parks isn't the only group with mowers. We're able to contract these services out, but they also provide, again, spraying within the riprap channel, debris removal from the floodway, and also the vegetation management of the floodway. So this is just another example of many pieces that it keeps the river moving forward with. So with that, do you have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you. Need a motion to accept that report?
Mr. Chairman, if I may note, Mr. Shumway and his colleague, Derek Johnson, made an appearance on the Channel 9 News last week, and they represented the city very well. So just wanted to make note of that and congratulate Mr. Shumway.
Cast your vote. And that passes. Item B is the annual Oklahoma River firework permit with the River Sport Foundation. Just to refresh your memory, we allow them to do an annual permit, and then they don't have to come back each time as long as they get the required inspections and stuff through the city and state. And this is the annual renewal on that. Any questions? Need a motion? Cast your vote. And that item passes. Item C is a revocable permit with River Sport Foundation for the River Sport Challenge at a Tri-OKC Triathlon on September 9th. Any questions on this? Need a motion? Cast your votes. And that passes. Item D is revocable permit with River Sport Foundation for the Oklahoma Regatta Festival and Head of the Oklahoma, September 29th through October 1, annual event they have. Need a motion? Cast your votes.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question. The permitting is sometimes we go to the annual contract for the landscaping. This time we did not use the credit for the lease. What's the difference? What makes the difference when we use the amended landscaping and we don't use it? Because the first two, we used the credit that we give the foundation,
Right.
and this time we did not. So I was just curious as to why.
That I
What
don't
makes the
know.
difference?
Have they used up their credit, maybe?
Thank you. Are the credit you're referring to on which item on the?
On the
event
permit for this particular item we just voted on,
The Tri-OKC Triathlon?
Yes.
Or the Oklahoma Regatta Festival?
the Tri-OKC Triathlon. Because it is through the River Sport Foundation.
Yeah, David, I'm gonna have David speak to that because I'm not sure where they're at on their full
Mr. Chairman,
annual
trustees,
payment.
David Burtz, trust specialist with the Parks and Recreation Department. Ms. Williams, I believe the issue may be the credit does not involve every single area of the river. I believe they're using one of the areas that's not covered under their agreement. When that's the case, they have to pay the regular permit rate.
Okay, I just didn't know the difference. Thank you.
And when you see the other fees, like for street closure fees, because those are a different department, not under the city, they do pay those
Okay,
separate. Yep,
thank you.
yep.
Okay, we voted on that already, okay. Item E is revocable permit with Red Coyote Running and Fitness for the Red Coyote Half Marathon on October 22nd, using the North River Trail. Motion on that? Again, this is another annual event that they do. Cast your vote. And that passes. Item 6 is claims, and we don't have any this month. 7 is comments from staff. We have the director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Melinda McMillan Miller, Parks and Recreation Director. Just on your report, you'll see after last meeting, we had a question from Chairwoman Williams, about the Epic Paintball reports and how we're getting those reports. So in the report, we did receive the first monthly report in July. So they are making some work on their programs and on the property. And of course, they're trying to modify the PUD in that area. So we continue to advise, work, listen, and encourage this process. So more updates as they come available. Other items in the report, though, are just FYI. We've had a pretty busy, it's always very busy on the river parks, it seems like, but 4th of July actually went really, really well. We had the typical, a lot of cleanup to do, of course. People love to use our river parks for their fireworks and fun festivities with their families and communities, but our security detail that we have on the river parks, we encourage them to just stand down. We asked them to just let them have some fun, and then we did a big cleanup effort for 3 days after, or before, during, and after that holiday event, so it was a good time.
Is it true we had someone attempt to parachute into the river?
Yes, sir, that is correct. They were quite the daredevil. Thank you, that's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions on our report?
No.
Need a motion to accept that? Cast your vote. That passes. Any other comments by staff? Comments from trustees? Any citizens to be heard? We are adjourned.
That was great.